After sleeping on the banks of river Sona, the immediate next day they offered their morning prayers and they started their journey further. Towards, they are going to which place they are going?
Mithila.
They are going towards Mithila, and after traveling of a few more miles, they reached the river Ganga. They reached the banks of river Ganga. So the sight was so beautiful and the waters were very clear, and they saw swans and cranes were crowded, and they halted their journey there. And Ramji and Lakshmana were very much delighted at the sight of the river, because the waters were very clear and they were flowing very nicely. The water was rejoicing. So they bathed there and they offered their prayers, and then they sat before Vishwamitra ji. And Ramji was very curious, because earlier also Vishwamitra ji told that Ganga was the holy and sacred river. So he thought that definitely the history of Ganga would be extraordinary. So he requested Ramji. And earlier he said that it was flowing in the three worlds, right? So if river Ganga is flowing in the three worlds before merging into the ocean, please let us know the story, history of Ganga. Then Vishwamitra ji started narrating. The king of mountains is Himavan. He had two beautiful daughters. They were Ganga and Uma. Elder daughter is Ganga and the younger one is Uma. So Ganga had a boon that she can travel anywhere at her will. So Devatas learnt that she can travel anywhere. They came to Himavan and requested to send Ganga with them to the heavenly abode. Then Himavan was very sure that his daughter will travel in the right path only and purify the world. So he obliged their request and he sent Ganga to the heavens. So Ganga had taken a form of a river and started following Devatas. So she reached heavens. Now she is flowing in heavens. So it is a celestial river. That's why it is called Devanadi. Ganga is called Devanadi, remember. It's flowing in heavens, and when it is flowing in heavens, it is called Mandakini. It is flowing in the form of a milky ocean. The waters were very pure, so as if milky ocean is flowing, it was looking like. So it is called Mandakini in heavens. And this is the story of Ganga. Next, Uma, she performed severe penance to please Lord Shiva, and she married him. They had a son called Kumara. He was very radiant. When he was born, actually the place around him, the mountain around him was also glowing. He was very radiant, and he six Kritikas, stars, they fed him. They gave milk to him, and Kumara, with 6 faces, he drank. So that's why he is called Shanmukha also. Shat is 6. So Shanmukha is with the 6 faces, he drank the milk. So that's why Kumara Swami is also called as Shanmukha. As Kritikas fed him, he is also called Kartikeya. So now we knew the names of Kumara Swami and Shanmukha and Kartikeya. Right? Though he was having the body of a child, he got indomitable powers and energies. So Devatas were actually searching for a commander-chief of their armies. So they have chosen Kumara as their army chief. Okay? And he fought with many demons. He killed Tarakasura also. Then Ramji got a doubt. If Ganga is flowing in heavens and if it is Devanadi, how it has descended to the earth and how we are seeing it on the earth now. Please tell us the story behind it. Then Vishwamitra ji was very happy. Now he is introducing his ancestors, Ramji's ancestors. There was a king called Sagara in your Ikshvaku dynasty. He was a very, very righteous ruler. He had two wives. One is Kesini and Sumati. But they did not have children. So he performed great penance and Kesini delivered a baby boy whose name was Asamanjasa. Remember, Sagara's wives were Kesini and Sumati. Kesini delivered a baby boy called Asamanjasa. And Sumati delivered a mass of flesh. Actually, it has life. Then it was cut into 60,000 pieces and kept in jars of ghee. Oh, in course of time, they all turned into little cute infants, lovely infants. So he had 60,001 son. Now Sagara had 60,001 sons, right? Asamanjasa was a wicked person. Actually, he was the son of a king, right? King Sagara. He used to take little children, infants, and throw them into the river Sarayu. What was the river around Ayodhya? Sarayu, right? He used to throw them into river Sarayu. So people were complaining. They started complaining. Then Sagara had to take a decision how to punish him or how to make him realize he was bad. Then Sagara had taken a great decision of sending him to the forest. He exiled him from Ayodhya. Even though he is his own son, when he is following Ahimsa and Adharma, Sagara did not spare him. He threw him out of the Ayodhya. But Asamanjasa had a very good son, very lovable son. His name is Anshuman. He was very kind and he was loved by all. But Anshuman is staying with Sagara only. So, Sagara started a great sacrifice in Himalayas, in between the place between Himalayas and Vindhyas. The region is called Aryavarta. In that place, sacred place, he started a great sacrifice. There, in that sacrifice, they will release a horse, sacrificial horse. When Ashwamedha Yajna was done by Dasharatha also, he also released one sacrificial horse, right? Like that, they released a sacrificial horse. And Anshuman was taking care of it. He was also a great warrior. Sagara was continuing. Suddenly, the gods panicked because if Sagara completes this without any obstacle, he will surpass the strength of gods. So Indra he came in disguise and he abducted the sacrificial horse. So everybody in the sacrifice, they were worried. The family priest told to Sagara that if the sacrificial horse did not come on time, it will bring unluck to everybody. Then Sagara, as he was performing, he could not go and search. So he sat down and he said that Anshuman will take care of me. He called out all the 60,000 sons and asked them to go and find out the horse wherever it is on the earth. They divided the earth into for one person. It is 1 square yojana. 60,000 sons he had, no? So each person, they divided the earth into 1 square yojana for one person. They started digging also. They started excavating. Even though if it is a mountain, they were digging in deep to find the horse. So they have excavated with the sharp objects the whole globe, the whole earth. The earth was in pain. Many creatures were killed, but they could not find out the horse. They started, they kept on digging. After digging deeper and deeper, in the lower world, they found out the sacrificial horse and they were extremely happy. And besides the horse, they saw a sage. He was in deep penance. The sage was Kapila. He was the manifestation of Lord Vishnu himself. So he was in deep penance and he did not abduct the horse. But these 60,000 sons, under frustration, they thought he had abducted the horse, and they started abusing him, and they wanted to attack him also. Then immediately Sage Kapila opened his eyes and said, that's it. All the 60,000 sons turned into ashes, a heap of ashes. Here Sagara was troubled. He was waiting for the horse and his sons, but nobody came. Then he called out Anshuman and said that you go and get the horse. Then he started his journey, and he also searched the whole earth, and finally he went to the lower world, and there he found out the horse, but he could not find out his uncles. Then through Garuda, the king of birds, through Garuda he came to know what had happened and how his uncles were burnt into ashes through Sage Kapila. Then he grieved. He wept for a long time, but he took the horse and gave it to Sagara. They completed the sacrifice. Then he told what had happened to Sagara's sons. When Sagara's sons were digging the earth, the waters swelled out of it. So it formed the sea. So that's why the sea is also called as Sagar. As the Sagara's son dug the earth and brought the sea, it is named after him. So sea is called Sagar also. Now Sagara was in distress. Actually, he was unhappy for his son's sad ending. He lost all the 60,000 sons, right? Now Garuda told Anshuman to bring Ganga from the heavens so that his uncles will be liberated and they will go to heavens. So Anshuman thought like he had to bring Ganga and liberate and release his uncles from that sin and to send them to heavens. They tried. Sagara tried. After 30,000 years, he left his body, and then Anshuman became the king of Ayodhya. He also tried, but he also could not bring Ganga down. Then Anshuman's son is called Dilipa. Dilipa also tried to bring Ganga down, but no, in vain. Later, Dilipa's son is Bhagiratha. Now he is very determined. He thought like he should release his ancestors from the sin, and his only objective in his life is to bring Ganga down. So what did he do? He is the king of Ayodhya now, but still he gave away the charge of the kingdom to his ministers, and he started penance, deep penance. Then Brahmaji was pleased with his penance, and Brahmaji appeared before him and asked, what do you want? What did he say? He said, I want Ganga to descend to the earth and flow to the Patal Lok where my uncles were in the form of ashes. She has to flow over them. Then Brahmaji said that, yes, okay, I can allow Ganga to flow down. But there is a danger. Ganga flows rapidly, rigorously, swiftly. So there is a damage that whole earth can sweep away. There should be somebody who will be holding Ganga and releasing it in a slow manner, in a smaller streams. Then he suggested that Lord Shiva alone can handle Ganga's heavy torrents. Then Bhagiratha again he started his penance to please Lord Shiva. Then Lord Shiva was pleased and he appeared. He said that, yes, I can handle Ganga when she is leaping from heavens. I will handle her in my matted hair. I will stand in the mountains. Then Ganga, she was little greedy. She thought that nobody can stop her. Can Shiva stop me? Stop my torrents flow. she was thinking. Then Shiva knew it. Shiva opened his jata, his matted hair. Then Ganga was flowing onto Shiva's hair. He tightly tied his hair. So she could not even a drop of Ganga fell on earth. Now again, she was flowing, she was meandering, flowing inside the matted hair of Shiva only for over years. Then she realized she was great, and then she humbled herself. Then Shiva released into 7 streams. Okay, 3 streams to the east and 3 to the west, and one is Alaknanda. She was following. Bhagirath is leading the path to Ganga, and Alaknanda is following Bhagirath. It was a great sight when Ganga is flowing down to the earth. All the rishis, Gandharvas, Devatas, they were standing in their cars to see the sight when she was flowing as if a milky ocean is falling, and so many snakes, tortoises, crocodiles, all the aquatic animals also came down, and they were shining, they were rejoicing. So slowly it was flowing, and sometimes it is flowing swiftly, and sometimes it is flowing slowly, and sometimes it is falling like a waterfall, and sometimes in a narrow path also she is moving on. When Bhagirath reached a place, there was a hermitage of Jahnu. So when Jahnu was in deep penance, Ganga overwhelmed, like flow heavily on the ashram, and she spoiled that. Then Jahnu got angry. Out of the anger, what did he do? He drank away all the Ganga. Then Bhagirath was shocked. After so many troubles, difficulties, I have made her flow on the earth, and now you have drunk the Ganga. Please release her. Then Jahnu was pleased with the words of Bhagirath, and he released Ganga through his ears. So that's why Ganga is called Jahnavi. From his stomach, he released Ganga through his ears. So she is the daughter of Jahnu also, right? Then finally they reached the place of the lower world where the 60,000 ashes were there. Then Ganga flew on the ashes, and the 60,000 uncles of Anshuman, they got liberated, and they went to heavenly abodes. Then Brahmaji appeared and appreciated Bhagirath for his great efforts and determination. He did not give up, right? Slowly, one after the other, many difficulties came, but he did not give up. So that's why he said, because of your all efforts, Ganga is flowing in the heavens and earth and the lower world. She is also called as Bhagirathi. Ganga is also called as Bhagirathi, and as it is flowing in the 3 worlds, it is called Tripada. Through Jahnu's ears it came, so it is called Jahnavi. And Mandakini, Devanadi. See, Ganga is very, very holy river. So whoever takes a dip in Ganga with the devotion, they will get rid of all the sins, and they will not get any skin diseases also, and they will progress spiritually. Till now, Ganga water is considered as very, very sacred, right? So this is how Ma Ganga is brought down, and she is flowing for the welfare of the human beings on the earth, and many people take a dip to get rid of their sins. Now Ganga's origin is said to in Himalayas. The origin of Ganga is Gangotri. Okay, after listening to the story of Ganga, Ramji was very, very happy because his ancestor Bhagirath, he never gave up, and he achieved his goal for the greater good of everybody. It's not for himself, right? It's for the welfare of everybody. Now, Vishwamitra said that a human being with the objective of helping others and with great determination, human beings can achieve anything. It's not that it is impossible that a human being cannot achieve. So Ramji is listening carefully and absorbing the morals of the story, right? So he knew that his ancestors are very powerful. So he will think that I should also follow their footsteps. I should also stand on my word and achieve my objective. Like this, Vishwamitra ji is transforming Ramji. Now morals.
Never give up.
Never give up.
Determined.
Not never give up. Never give up.
Yes, that's done. One more.
Ma'am, don't be greedy.
Yes, Ganga Ma was feeling greedy that Shiva can hold her or not. But what did Shiva taught her? Be humble. Even though you are so powerful.
Don't underestimate.
Be humble.
Yes.
Ma'am, if we don't know something, we have to not. Ma'am, if we don't know something, we have to not tell that.
Yeah.
Ma'am, we should not underestimate others.
Correct. Then,
As Ganga underestimated Shiva's power.
yes. And stay away from people who are in adharma and ahimsa. That's what Sagara is teaching us. Even though his own child, he exiled him. Right? And 60,000 sons of Sagara, they accused sage Kapila, who was innocent. Never accuse or blame anybody without knowing.